I'm late. Sorry about that. It was giving me hell trying to pop on here. It kept saying no connection, no connection, no connection. Going to be a lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about. I'll start off with Greenwood. Greenwood likes to go and make all these allegations and turn in a cease and desist. Tore it up, threw it away. Don't mean shit. You're not going to suppress my right to free speech. They can get up there, and they do. They get up there and they lie about stuff, which actually her lies can actually land her in hot water if I were able to bring suit against her because of what she's saying is false, and I've told her that it's false. But Greenwood, she's another one of these little wannabe enforcers that try to inflict some type of fear in people, I guess, and she has, and other people in the community. She's made threats and serious threats, pulled weapons on people. I got another message this morning of her pulling, I think it was her own kid, as a matter of fact, but she got trespassed and I think a restraining order against her. So dangerous individual, to say the least. But that is exactly the people that Kim Yancey and Keith Bell seek. They seek those kind of people. They seek dangerous people to try to intimidate. Let me tell you something, Miss Greenwood, you do not intimidate me, not even a little bit. And the fact that I've heard that reliable sources, no doubt, that she's pulled firearms on people multiple times, it just tells me everything I need to know right there. You never used it. So, story time. We'll go back 25 years, and I was at a bad place. I walked into this guy. I was going to a guy's house, and there was like a little mud room, I guess, where you like take off your boots and your shoes and stuff before you go into the house. And there was a guy there that I'd been looking for a while, and he had a backpack with him. He had the backpack in front of him, and he had his hand inside the backpack. And when I confronted him, his words to me were, "You're pretty stupid. I got a gun in my backpack." And I can't tell you the rest of the story, but those things, that knowing that she's made these attempts to intimidate people with a firearm multiple times, tells me everything I need to know. You ain't going to use it. So that being said, next topic. Obviously, everybody watched the council meeting last night. Bell's criminal empire remains intact. We, unfortunately, as citizens, we got Lamar Public Works out here. Let me give them a shout out. They're out here doing work. Hold on one second. Yeah, baby. Right on. They're out there doing work, fixing that water leak that's been leaking for months. According to that homeowner, it's been leaking for months, and they want to raise your water rates, and they have known about this leak for weeks. They've known about it, and I'm telling you, this leak is like turning your faucet on outside and walking away. 24 hours a day, pumping into the ditch. Your tax dollars. But hey, let's raise everybody's taxes. Let's tax them some more. Let's give them a fine. Let's give them a fee. Let's give them a tax. Let's beat down citizens until nobody can afford anything anymore. It's repulsive. The mentality of these politicians currently in Lamar is repulsive. They vote on taxes. How many of them own property in Lamar? How many of them actually own property in Lamar? Rumor it, one of them lives with their mommy. 50-something years old, lives with mommy. Bankrupted to the hilt. Bad, horrible credit. can't pay for a car. There's other things I know she's got being repossessed that I can't talk about, but there's other things that are being repossessed by from Kimberly Yancey. These people are making the decisions for the taxpayers of Lamar. Another person allegedly lives in a Section 8 home. Again, no taxes, pays no taxes to the city. Property owner does. The mentality of these people, they don't get it. Raise taxes. Who gets hit with that burden? Some people, maybe Yancey's mom is locked into the lower tax rate, so it won't affect her. No sweat off them, right? These people don't got the brain to think about other people. They think about themselves. They're dirty, rotten, greedy, criminal actors. But Bell's regime, Bell's corrupted empire stays intact. Unfortunately, as taxpayers, we, screw water companies for real. But Bell's regime, Bell's criminal empire stays intact. And it gets worse. They voted to keep Barbara Hawley for another 7.5 months at $88 an hour plus $1,800 a month living expenses. So $2,000 plus $88 an hour we pay to that company. Folks, we're nearly bankrupt. Does that not click in anybody's head but mine? I'll tell you why they want to keep Barbara Hawley. Barbara Hawley is a criminal. Barbara Hawley has breached confidential information and asked law enforcement to commit crimes for her. Yes, she actually asked law enforcement to do something that was unlawful. Now, they denied to do it. They declined and said that they couldn't. They said that they couldn't and they wouldn't, and they didn't. That's G-Rod. We ain't doing that shit. But that shows what she's all about. Now, she wants me gone. She will do anything. She has gone to multiple law enforcement and others to try to get criminal charges against me. She's asked for people to revisit things that have been concluded by the Galveston County District Attorney's Office to have no merit, and there will be no criminal charges because no crime was committed. Well, that wasn't good enough for Barbara Hawley. Barbara Hawley seeked out several police in our department requesting that they revisit these crimes or alleged crimes that were reported, and she's requesting that they charge me and arrest me. And when that didn't work a couple times with a couple meetings with people, then Barbara Hawley requested a meeting with the Galveston County District Attorney's Office. Allegedly, according to my numerous sources, where she requested again for them to file criminal charges, revisit it, look at it again, double check. She thinks you're wrong, you don't know how to do your job. She wanted them to look at it again so she could get criminal charges to get me out of the way for these career criminal politicians. That's it. That is the only reason. She wants me out of their way. She is beholden to them. She is so bad. She is so bad right now. I wonder what she's stealing. What is she stealing? Other than the fact that we're paying her an ungodly amount of money that she's not worth, but she's compromised. She tried to compromise our department. When that didn't work, she went to the DA. She tried to compromise the district attorney. When that didn't work, she finally laid it down. But these are facts, folks. These are facts. This woman is unhinged. Now, I was told yesterday that our new PR lady, Colleen, apparently she made a comment at a appreciation thing for volunteers, the Clint Brown appreciation dinner. Apparently, and I've asked her and she has not responded. I asked her again, she still didn't respond, so it's kind of looking really bad for her. But allegedly, she made a statement that I'm the man ruining this community. The guy that's exposing corruption and corrupted politicians is the guy that's ruining the community. Colleen, I have kept my mouth shut. I told you to stay in your lane. I told you I wouldn't do things, and I haven't done it. But let me tell you, Colleen, don't play with fire, you get burnt. I could talk about the stage at Bayou Fest. There's a bunch of other things I could talk about other than the things that I already agreed to not talk about. So don't play with me. Don't play with me. You're becoming a bad actor immediately, and you know damn well who the criminals are down there at City Hall. So don't spend, well, I'm not going to give you a directive on what to do down there, but you play with me, you get burnt. That's it. You want to play games, I'll expose things, period. I'll do it. I'll put it out there. So don't play with me. Here's where it gets scary, folks. Here's where it gets real scary. Now, our city manager, Barbara Hawley, decided that she was going to investigate council. That was her email. She was going to investigate council. Now, the reality is, she didn't investigate council. If she did, she would have been shocked at how much corruption is there involving the corrupted mayor and the corrupted councilwoman, staff members, etc. Credit card abuse, all these different things. But anyway, she said she was going to investigate staff. She didn't investigate staff. She investigated me. She completely, solely targeted me. Her office, her time, taxpayers' money, investigated me, an elected official. Her sole purpose in the investigation that she conducted herself, I don't know if she thinks she's got law enforcement mentality. She doesn't. She's incompetent. But she conducted an investigation into me that determined I am lawfully elected, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Again, they don't want to say that in the public because they can keep screaming that narrative and using these deranged individuals like Greenwood and McAfee and Winkleman to say, oh, he can't be in office, he's a felon. They keep making all these lies up, and but they know the truth. They know the truth. But the fact that she took her time, taxpayers' time, to investigate only one person shows her bias. It shows her intent. I filed a really long email, and I'll share it with the public. I'll go ahead and post it on Lowry News Network later. But it's going to show everything that she's done. Here's where it gets even scarier. I had a run-in with the FBI a couple years ago. I made a comment on social media. Apparently, I wasn't supposed to know about it. I get a phone call from a guy that claims to be an FBI agent. I laughed at him. He sends me a picture of his card, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble." And so I made the phone call and met. And but what it was in regards to is we had a dispatcher for the City of Lamar Police Department. Her name was Tina. She was actually feeding intel to bad guys in the community. She was tipping them off which way to go this way, go that way, drug house, all sorts of stuff, bad stuff. So bad that it was a street officer, believe it or not, that actually busted her. Smart cop. It was a good cop, and it was, I don't know how he thought about it, but I know the whole process, I know everything that happened. I'm not going to make it all public here, but it was good police work by the street officer out doing the patrols. There was a shooting, and they were looking for somebody. But anyways, the officer was able to put two and two together and say, hey, this isn't right. How would they know that? I'm pulling over this vehicle that did a drive-by allegedly. They did. And the officer knew what to say, what to ask for. And then what their response was, he shouldn't have known. Not to get into too many details, but anyways, excellent police work by one of our officers. And they were able to bring down Tina. Now, what pissed me off about it is through that process, Mayor Bell decided that Tina, even though she put our officers' lives at risk on a daily basis, exposed them to harm, tipped off dope dealers and killers and drive-bys and gangsters, all these punks, even though all that happened, and Bell knew about it, they, and I won't say who else, but Bell and they determined that it was appropriate to give this person under federal investigation, who was later charged, and they knew it, but to pay her out. I think it was like $50,000 or $60,000 of taxpayers' money. I'm not kidding you. They gave her 50 years. She should have been terminated, fired, gone, get out, beat it, go to jail, don't get out, go to federal prison for all we care. But that's how I got in touch with that FBI agent. But the fact is, it happened. It happened to Lamar, and Bell decided that it was a good idea to pay that person out. Somebody that put the lie. He's anti-police, folks. He wanted to pay out this person, and they did, that was tipping off bad guys, bad people in the community. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? That's the kind of stuff that they do. Bell, organized crime. You picking it up? All right. So it gets worse. Kiera's a criminal. She's a known criminal. She's committed so many criminal acts pertaining to open records requests. Now, I can call her a criminal. Just because she hasn't been charged with a crime doesn't mean she's not a criminal. She's still a damn criminal. What she does, and what she has done for the last 5 years, is commit crimes with open records. So the fact that what Bell wants to do, and this is going to shock you, folks. This is really going to shock you. I already know that I've had several reliable, 100% reliable sources tell me that our city manager has breached law enforcement emails. At least 2 that we know of. Those emails would contain confidential information by me. They would include audio recordings of crimes being committed that I've turned over to law enforcement through investigative stuff that I did that took me months and months and months. This happened here. This happened this date. 3 months later, I get a recording. 3 months later, this happens. Then a couple months later, this happens. Everything came to fruition. All those things were in emails. City manager Barbara Hawley has breached emails from law enforcement. Not making this up, folks. Her mouth to my ears, they breached law enforcement emails. That's scary. Especially knowing that she's doing everything she can to eject or an attempt to reject an elected official from office. She's doing everything in her power to try to remove me from public office. Well, here's where it gets scarier. This is the scarier part. They want to give Kiera. So let me go back. If you put in an open record request to Texas City that has to do with the police department, it goes to the police department. They fill the records request. Dickinson, League City, Baytown, Houston, all confidential. All the police department records are kept separate because of the content, the confidentiality that needs to remain confident in those reports. They want, this is crazy, folks. Listen to this. They want Bell, I'll be specific, wants to give Kiera access. Kiera, the woman, the girl that breaks the law with open records, the girl that goes to the 409 awards and sit at their little, their anti-white award ceremony and sits at the table with Bell. Kiera that won't give you information if it's pertaining to Bell and it makes Bell look bad through open records. Kiera, the one that breaks the law that accidentally doesn't publish things right so Jerome Karam can get the bid on property over at the dog track, 14 acres, bid rigging that's called. Kiera, folks, that's the Kiera I'm talking about. They want her to have access to confidential information in our police department. What is going on with our city? I'm not making this stuff up, folks. I mean, we might as well call in the Sinaloa cartel and give them access to our freaking property room. That's the mentality of these freaking criminals in public office. They want to give the worst actors the most stuff, access to the most stuff. It's crazy. It is the most insane, absolutely insane stuff going on right now. And I'll share the email that I sent to produce or to produce records to me, but also to store all their information, to not get rid of it. Preservation letter. But it's crazy, folks. That's the mentality of these career criminal politicians. They take the worst city employee in the city of Lamar and they say, hey, we're going to give you access to the police department. Because, like Barbara Holly, they know that she will break the law. Can you imagine Kiera having access to information and somebody file a police report on her little buddy Belle? She's going to tell them everything that's in it. Everybody knows that. Can you imagine Kiera having access to confidential information and somebody says, hey, Yancey says, hey, somebody filed a police report on me. What did they say? Kiera's going to go click, 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 pop in there and say, oh, they said this, 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 and this. Nobody trusts Kiera. Come on, folks. Everybody knows better. You are not stupid enough to believe that Kiera will not continue breaking the law for these bad actors in office. We all know it. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. But anyways, that's what I wanted to pop on and talk about. I mean, I could go on and on. There's so much damn corruption in the city, but it's just mind-blowing that they would want to give the worst city employee the most access to the most confidential information. In what reality is that normal? And never been as easy top. But yeah, if you like following, I'm a watchdog. I'm a council member for the city of Lamar. I got into politics about 10 years ago, fighting a corrupted family court system. I'm not a fan of big government. I hate crooked politicians. If you like that kind of stuff, that kind of content, follow my page, share it, put it out there. I'm a watchdog. I'm the best thing that ever happened to a taxpayer in the city of Lamar. I can tell you that. I'm a crooked politician's worst nightmare, and I hope I keep them up at night. So follow my page, share it. See who we got on here. Yeah, water companies. I said that they're out of control. Great rant. Yeah, great rant. Yeah, she's about as American as it gets. Kiera, she's about she's perfect. She's like the equivalent of I guess Kiera would be the Nancy Pelosi of Lamar. But yeah, I would say she's the Hillary Clinton of Lamar. She's about the Hillary Clinton of Lamar. She's about that capacity. Not as smart, but break the law, stuff like that. Really, really protected. But yeah, hey, we got a new district attorney. He was appointed by the governor, Greg Abbott. It was to fill the remaining term of a worthless DA that unfortunately plagued the community for decades, a couple decades almost. But we got a new sitting DA, and he actually was a federal prosecutor. Now, very well known, handled extremely high profile cases, cartel stuff, organized crime. So this corruption, right here, what's happening now, I would believe with his history that it would be right up his alley for prosecution. So we'll see what happens. I know there's he's running for political office as well. I'll be completely blunt. He ain't got a chance against Jennifer Ott unless the only thing that could put that guy on the map is if he started charging these politicians, Keith Bell, Kim Yancey, Dedrick Johnson, Ramari, Kiera, if they started charging these criminals with the crimes that they've been committing, then I could see that he would have a chance at that political office. But there's just I don't see it unless there was a massive punt, and I just don't see it happening unless he does something major to show the citizens that he means business. I don't think he's got a chance. But then you got to catch 22. He starts wrapping up these 4 or 5 crooked Democrats that I just mentioned. Then he's going to lose a majority of the Democratic vote. So it's kind of a catch 22. If he doesn't prosecute him, he's going to lose the Republican vote. So he's kind of in the middle. It's kind of a bad position, I guess, for an elected official, but it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And here's my thing. Jack Rody's theory was they're corrupt. Let them be corrupt. If the taxpayers don't like it, beat them at the polls. I'm sorry. I completely disagree with Jack Rody's theory. If they break the law, prosecute them. It shouldn't be up to taxpayers to beat crooked politicians at the ballot box. It's a ballot box for sure. But it's not the citizen's job. Well, I guess it is. It's the DA's job to prosecute crimes. That's what they're there for. And if they're not doing it, they're failing the community. They're failing every single taxpayer. Whether you got a D or an R by your name, you're failing everybody. But we'll see. I know that Mr. Cusick, I have not had any conversations with him. I've never. I shook his hand at a mayor and council retreat thing, but I've never had a conversation with the guy. I've never, sat down with him or anything like that. But I think I will. I think I'm going to try to arrange that meeting. And ironically, he's from La Marque. I guess a lot of the elders in the community know who he is, know his family. They got really high hopes right now with him being in there. They think that he'll remember the La Marque that it used to be. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if he's going to take action or if he's going to be a Jack Rody, or we'll see. We'll see what he does. I'm curious. I am curious. My theory, and I may be wrong, I'm hoping. My theory is that they brought Cusick in, being a federal prosecutor. He knows the organized crime stuff. And my understanding, he's previously prosecuted that kind of stuff. So he being, him having that background, I believe would make it better for him to step in and prosecute this stuff than somebody that maybe has never done this before. That was just my thought process of maybe why he was appointed to that position, but I have no idea. I mean, nobody knows really. It was up to the governor. Nobody has any idea why he was appointed, but that's what I'm hopeful for. I'm hopeful that he was appointed to that position to execute some search warrants and knock down some crooked politicians in the mark. Keith Bell, Kim Yancey, and Texas City. I don't want to take anything away from good old Dedrick Johnson. That guy's been a nemesis to society. But anything else? You got any questions? Slovenia, holy smokes. It's morning time over here. Welcome to the live. Melinda, yeah, Bell gets onto her about things in the meetings to make it appear. Yeah, what they're doing right now is Barbara Hawley and Colleen and Kiera and the deputy city clerk, what they're doing is they're collectively working in ways to discredit me. That is their main objective right now, to try to take away, they're projecting into the community that I'm the bad guy for exposing the corruption. But it's they're the bad guys. They're the bad guys, but their projection is that it's me. And Kiera's done so many criminal things. There was something that Compion brought up a couple meetings ago, and our city attorney is just as bad. I mean, he's part of the problem. He needs to go, but nobody's got a spine. I'll fire them motherfuckers in a heartbeat. Every one of them. That doesn't bother me. You harm the taxpayers. Bye. Get out of here. But we're sitting in a public meeting. We're having Joe Compion brings up something that they did violate state law. Compion brought up that there was changes. The city violated it, talked about it. I checked it. Compion was right. And Gus leans over to Kiera's typing. She keeps minutes. So anytime she's supposed to, that's another thing that she does. She's very selective about what she enters. See, the city clerk is so powerful. People don't realize that. She is so powerful. The city clerk controls the minutes. So if somebody comes to a meeting, we'll use, I'm not going to say any names, we'll just say a scenario. Somebody comes to a meeting during public comment, they get up there and they say, Joseph Lowry's a piece of shit. He drove his truck through my yard and he cussed at me. She'll put all that information in there. But then if somebody comes in and says, that Mayor Bell's a crooked politician, he's been bribing taxpayers, he did it to me, she'll put customer had complaints about Mayor Bell. You see the difference? You see the difference what she does there? She has that much power. She has that much power. But what I was getting at was Compion was bringing up something that the city did that was improper. Our council member corrected the city attorney, which is odd. The city attorney should already know this stuff. But Compion corrected him, and Kiera was taking notes, minutes they call it, and then Gus leans over to her and says, take that out of the minutes, don't put that in there. And I'm looking at him like, you dirty piece of shit. You just instructed her to not keep minutes because the city had broke the law and they didn't want a record of it. And unfortunately, Kiera, being the criminal that she is, she obliged by the city's advice to not put in the minutes something very informational to the taxpayer. They should know whether the city's doing good or doing bad, but they want to project that they're such a good, they're so perfect down there. Everybody knows better. Man, I've seen that vehicle 3 times now. Very distinct. What's up, baby? Very distinct. Yep. Very distinct vehicle. But I got his plate. But yeah, that's the kind of criminal conduct that happens down there at City Hall. Approved by the city attorney. Can't make this stuff up. But that's the power that the city clerk has. And what they want to do is they want to keep empowering her. Be more criminal. Be more criminal. Break the law for her. She's already compromised, so there's no going back for Kiera. Kiera can't go, now I want to stop breaking the law for you guys. It's too late for her. It's too late for her. Plus, on top of that, they paid her $30,000 to continue breaking the law for her. Kim Yancey was a big proponent of that. She got that $30,000 to keep breaking the law for him. So, anyhow, I'll let y'all, yeah, it's politics, baby. Crooked, crooked, crooked. But if you like watchdogs, if you like seeing somebody keep the foot on their throat of these corrupted politicians, follow my page, like it, share it. Thanks for watching. Keep in touch. Share my content. Appreciate all of you.